Hi everyone. The article that I looked at from the NCTM was making the most of story problems. I chose this to be targeted on fifth grade, and because one of my topics I chose to focus on was story problems. So, to highlight my article, this article really focused on honoring children's story problems and not making them use our strategies. So they referred to it as being a parrot and making them parrot our strategies. Instead, we should allow them to construct their own strategies for helping them solve story problems, that really resonated with me for whatever reason, but that was one thing that really stuck with me. Um, Kind of the blunt of this article can be summarized in the two tables that they have on the article, and I really liked these two tables because I think it's definitely something you could refer back to use if you were ever like in a bind or struggling with a student and wondering how you could help them. So this article gave strategies to use to help a child's thinking before they've given a correct answer for a story problem. And in table 1 here that I have up for you to see are some options to use to help those children before they have given a correct answer and they're stuck. So first we need to ensure that the child understands the problem. So either having them rephrase or elaborate on what they know about the problem or what they remember or what they understand about the problem. All those things would really help a teacher gather what else they can do or explain in the problem that the child may be missing because they maybe have read it wrong or are confused about a part of it. The next part would be change the mathematics in the problem to match the child's level of understanding. When I read this one, the first thing I thought of was names in story problems. In our Saxon math, sometimes their names are so outrageous, and I will have EL kids or SPED kids that get so hung up on the person's name in the story problem that they can't even focus enough to do the math. So that would be one thing that I would change in a story problem to help make it easier for students. But they just ask that you make numbers easier or just the structure of the problem so they could understand it easier. The third one is explore what the child has already done. So asking them what strategies have you already used that haven't worked, or what kind of work have you shown, so I can see kind of maybe where we're missing a step, or maybe we wrote numbers wrong, stuff like that. Remind the child to use other strategies. So this one is a big one in my room. A strategy I feel like my kids forget about or think they don't have to use, I don't know if it's when they get older they don't think they have to use it, is drawing pictures. I draw a lot of pictures with students in story problems because I feel like that really helps them visualize what they need to do. But just using a different tool, different strategy, or remind them of strategies they've done before, like the pictures. This article also had many like real life examples and conversations because they used teachers interviewing students using story problems to write this article. The next table I want to share with you all is table 2. So this table focuses more on what we can do to help a child's problem solving strategies and their critical thinking strategies after they've given the correct answer. So after we did everything in table 1 and we figured out what they need to do to solve that problem, what can we do to still build on those concepts even after the fact? So we can promote reflection on the strategy the child just completed, so asking them to explain what we just did back to you so they can hopefully put that in their memory box. Encourage the child to explore multiple strategies and their connections. So we just solved that problem. Can you do it again with this problem? Just to get that practice and repetition going. Connect the child's thinking to a symbiotic notation, so having them make a number sentence and doing the math and the symbols behind it that go along with it, and generate follow-up problems linked to the problem the child just completed. So having them do a similar problem the same way to make sure they know that repetition and that they can keep doing it. That was my article. I hope you guys learned something from it. Thanks.